Minuets. Wait.
Good hunting.
What quest do I have to turn in?
Isn't that?
Thank you. You really helped me out now.
Quest. A haunted heirloom. Right. Alright. So, as it turns out, we have this really cool thing called fast travel.
Let's go.
And it looks like this.
Oh, what they say.
But yeah, if you take a look while he's sprinting, it has the orange lines. Everybody that's awoken an archetype can do this.
What? What?
Hey, motherfucker. Of all the people that had to get it, it was a useless elder. I can put it back in the cathedral if you want. I've seen your face before. You're the youth who helped to restore order during the attack on the Grand Cathedral. I apologize for my early... But yeah! The things I said, I can't even imagine what my wife would think if she heard me utter such discriminatory nonsense. Allow me to reminisce for a moment. My wife was a researcher in the King's employ. She had such wit. We would talk for hours, endlessly discussing the country's future. She was kind and noble. Frankly, I never deserved her. And this necklace, it was the object she treasured most.
Really?
Wow, I never would have guessed. I'm glad we were able to bring it back to you.
Thank you very much indeed.
You have my deepest, most heartfelt thanks. Here, the reward I promised. Accept it as a gift from the both of us. Unfortunately, I'm running low on funds, so this is the best I can do. Forgive me.
Mission accomplished.
You got real fucking polite at the moment you had to lowball me on the funds, eh?
Alright.
Courageous young elder. Oh yeah, I shan't forget your kindness for as long as I
And I'm
live.
off.
Now that I have this memento, I've some pleasure about my wife's fate. I should return to the countryside now. I bid you farewell. So yeah, I'm currently ranked 71 in the popularity rank, which is kind of crazy. To become the true king of this land, thou must draw strength from all the resources at thy disposal and grow thy strength along with the souls of heroes thou hast gathered. It's like a little bit of the spotlight. Dude, we're top 100 now. We're in the top 100 contenders. Contenders? Contenders.
Talking nonsense you are. Talking nonsense you are.
Is that a fairy I see? Haha, a real fairy. Well, I'll be.
Sure, but
Look. I know I'm rare, but do we need to make such a big deal of it? I should explain. My family has something of a history with fairies. As a boy, my parents would even tell me stories about fairies before bed. Would you care for me to tell you one? Ooh, imagination grinding. So you grew up on fairy tales. No wonder you've got fairies on the mind. What do you think? Do you want to listen to the elderly gentleman's story? Absolutely.
thanks.
Imagine that. Getting to tell a fairy tale to a real fairy. Come, let's find a table at the tavern.
Long ago.
Now, this story goes back to my grandfather's grandfather. Once, far, far away, there was a village out in the countryside. There was a cave nearby that the villagers prohibited anyone from entering. But one day, my ancestor, who was just a boy then, decided he had to see it for himself.
come on.
So he defied his elders? Your ancestors sound like a handful. It runs in the family. Ha! Anyway, sure enough, he ventured deep inside and soon became swallowed in darkness, hopelessly lost. A handful or not, he was just a boy, and his bravery failed him. He sank to his knees in the dark, crying pitifully.
Nevertheless.
But then, something bathed in a warm light caught his eye as it approached him. The little light actually spoke, saying, "Pipe down, you can't cry in a place like this." He was shocked. After he got a good look at it, the boy realized it was a fairy, pulsing with light. He was so relieved, his tears only magnified. But the fairy couldn't bear it, throwing her arms up and said, "If you want to cry so badly, fine, suit yourself," and she left. But before he knew it, the fairy returns. "Come on, follow me," she said. "I'll show you the way out." You see, she had sensed a dangerous beast deep in the cave, and compassion won the day. She decided to get him safely back to the entrance.
Oh, yeah?
Huh. I thought the fairy was kind of cruel at first, but I guess she had a good heart. When they arrived at the cave's mouth, the boy turned to thank the fairy, but she had already disappeared into thin air. Time marched on, and he grew into an adult. He visited the cave countless times, hoping to find and thank her, but he never saw her again, as long as he lived.
Oh my.
Oh, but would you look at the time? We'd better pick this up again later. If you'd like to know the ending, I'll be around.
Alright.
Whew. That went on a bit longer than I thought it would.
Well then.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
I didn't realize how much attention I apply to like my cheeks when I talk. Because while I was reading that, I'm like, oh my god, I feel like my cheeks are up here the entire time. I'm like, gotta loosen them out a bit, you know?
I've seen the state of the race with my own eyes, ladies, gents, and mad malcontents. If you wanted an update,
I like that.
here's your
Ladies,
chance.
gents, and mad malcontents. Okay.
So far, we've mostly seen gauntlet runner skirmishes and dueling mayhem. Now it's time for the real thing. Sounds like we've lost a few candidates already too. Poor bastards went after something too nasty for their head hunt and got themselves head hunted. We've got some candidates who have outright given up. No confidence. Can't blame them against these odds. And some others
Did I say,
bought
how do you
the
write
soul
rain, mother?
out of the race.
Come on! That's a bit unfair, isn't it?
I suppose money's power like anything else. Military strength's not meant to decide this race anyhow.
The question is, what's our final head count going to look like? Lots of unknowns left, people, and we'll not know the truth until the exhibition. A little bird told me one of our contenders has made a bold play in Martira. They might not even come out of it with a head.
What are they scheming then? Let's hear some details.
Thank you, Gossip Mongo. You're doing us a good job.
Sorry, chums, I'm just the crier. Can't speak for any one candidate in particular. Luckily, you'll not have long to wait now. With all that said, can't help but wonder how Count Luis is taking this, can we? My sources say he's not bothered with any of this. He's still gallivanting across the land, killing humans. And yet, even without a formal entry, Luis's voter base is still growing. Bound to have his eminence Forden grinding his teeth, that. For now, let's enjoy the show!
Eventually we'll see Heisman, I promise.
Right, everyone.
He's actually not in the scene, what the fuck?
Particulars packed.
All that remains is to ride to Oceania with pride in our hearts.
Watch out, Luis. You won't know what hit you.
Well then, we're off to the races, what? Old Barden's given me a detailed map of the area.
Sounds like quite a journey. I hope it won't be as bumpy as last time.
Oh no, it'll be a sight smoother. But you've got wings. What are you fussing for?
Oh, there it is. Should have known the fatigue would hit eventually.
Oh yeah, we also met Nuris.
Heisman, why are you on my bed? You're positively miniature, man. There are plenty of other places fit for you to sleep.
Yes.
So yeah, that's Heisman.
Just magnificent.
What is he dreaming about?
Wow, I can type so good.
I hope you've no designs on taking my bed. I have cut men down for less.
With friends like these.
So we've reached the part in
Now
the
then.
story where the banter is real now. Brylehaven, the capital of the Principality of Oceania. We punch it south out of Martyra. We'll make it in, I'd say 3 nights, 4 days or so. Okay. Ooh, we're going deep. Oh, we're going deep, deep.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Let us hurry.
Gonna be a trip.
Here's where we are now. Oh, hey!
There's a large city of prosperous commerce, due in no small part to its oceanside proximity. I envision droves of people will pour in for the exhibition. All the people delayed by the landslide might still be showing up. Keep an eye on the road, okay, Neros? Why I never? Who do you think you're talking to? Leave it to me. Next up, Port Brylehaven, capital of Oceania. I almost said captain. I'm like, this is another fun little graphic.
Leaving behind the old castle town stricken by tragedy, the Gauntlet Runner sets off toward the exhibition of the brave. Their destination, Port Brylehaven, capital of the Principality of Oceania. A world unknown to them. What will they accomplish? Acclaim? Or...
What to pick?
Well met. All right. Yes.
It was an even battle, but within the span of a turn I suddenly found myself cornered. Come now, 'tis too early in the battle for so sullen an expression. If your foe mobilizes a large force, then surely an opening may be found.
What should we do?
Your enemies marshal their full might to breach your defenses, all whilst leaving their own base wide open. How do you respond? Full-scale counterattack.
That means...
I see.
Be a hollow victory to completely abandon your own base. A balance between offense and defense must be maintained. Perhaps not the wisest move, but I still feel like my wisdom has risen somewhat.
Alright.
That's okay. Ooh.
Well then.
Do you understand now? If so, show me with your next move.
The party sets off for Martyra. As they watch the setting sun sink under the horizon,
Watching the
their
setting
Gauntlet
sun
Runner
sink.
arrives in a land grown thick with trees. The wildlife retreats to safety before the sunlight fades, leaving only deafening silence. The anticipation that follows a journey's beginning swells in their hearts.
Oi!
Have you heard? There's a bath cask on the back deck now. Heard enough whinging about not being able to bathe, so I whipped something up. It's not elegant, but it'll do the job. No doubt, it would shake too much to use while traveling, but it should be lovely to enjoy soaked well with stops.
Speaking of,
I've heard that in certain regions, fruits and grasses are added into bathwater to relieve exhaustion and strengthen the body. Should you encounter such items, perhaps you ought to consider a purchase. Not only will you acquire mag by using it, but you can also add various bath salts to get buffs. Alright.
The breeze feels nice.
But
Alrighty. Who do we want to speak to? Stroll or Hulkenberg? I feel like we already know the answer, but who's to say? Alright.
Well met.
I don't suppose you're overburdened with free time as I am. I'm certainly no stranger to travelling, but I have no idea how to spend idle hours. If the idea appeals, might we talk a bit? By recalling the past and planning for the future with Hulkenberg, maybe I can hone my imagination. Let's have a chat with Hulkenberg. It's like imagination is like annoyingly hard to grind. I was very taken with the sandworm dish. It was incredible. It is incredible that pairing the unique ingredients of Materia with Port City spices could result in something so divine. When two dissimilar things that would never meet cross paths, an unexpected synergy can occur. Put that way, could not the same be said be said of our powers? It's a good example.
Got it.
I knew you'd understand, as only one who has eaten of the same sandworm dish could. So in Materia, the big recurring joke was that sandworms are abundant in the town, and as a result of the abundance of sandworms, it made its way into like the town's cultural dishes, which honestly makes a lot of sense and is some brilliant world building right there. But the running bit was everybody was kind of like a little uncomfortable consuming sandworm. But Hulkenberg took to it, fucking loved it. And it became like a recurring bit.
Alright.
Like in one scene, they're like banging pots and pans to drag out Heisman. Actually, I might be able to like just show you guys the video. Give me a sec, I'll see if I can dig it up. Because this was like a favorite cutscene of mine. We also had to like get pooped out by a giant sandworm as well. That was always a treat. Making noise to draw our eyes, me. Ah, here we go. I'm just letting the ad play out and then I'll switch it over. Alrighty, so main capture. So give me just a sec. I will need to make sure that desktop audio. You know what? Sure, VOD track is 2. So I should be able to do that. Can you guys hear this? Once something actually plays. Alright, can you guys, were you guys able to hear that? I'm gonna trust there's a yes in there. Because in theory, I've already done this correctly. Can you hear this bit of audio? Was that going through? Oh, wait, no, it wouldn't. Give me a sec. How about now? Did that go through? That one did? Sick. Alright, cool. But no, this is the scene. Right? This is the option I selected. So yeah, this is Heisman. So hi, brain. Sorry, what? Ah, yeah. Like God, not Jake. Y'all have the same purple, so it takes me a second. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys this one scene from Metaphor, because I think it is so funny. Let me just cut us back to game capture, minimize that. But yeah, so it's like now she's got a bit of a hang up on like sandworm dishes.
Time marches on.
But no, it's really funny, like just watching JRPG characters be idiots because they're so funny. They're just so fucking funny.
That reminds me.
We'll arrive at the Ocean City the day after tomorrow. Hi, Esme. You've erected a tent up above, haven't you? Do take care that you don't get carried off by the wind. I'm confident it will take more than that to pull that tent apart, though I suppose some caution is warranted.
Speaking of...
Worst case scenario? You've got wings. You could just fly back. My young friend, where did you hear UG for capable of flight? I hate to disappoint, but they're rather more for gliding. In 2 days, we'll be in Port Brylehaven. We've really gotten used to all this travelling, don't you think? Let's cook something. With the tips Maria gave me, I think I could cook without taking up much time. Ooh. Whose handwriting is that? There are notes here about new potential recipes. Finish a noodles recipe. Want to make something? If so, we should try and have everyone teach us a culinary specialty. Critical meatballs. Apparently invincible noodles are like kind of crazy for like grinding levels. Yeah, let's read.
What's that?
He stared up the heavens. There, a sparkling azure firmament caught his eye. The moon? At midday? No. Despite its cold, stony glow, this was no moon nor star. There were those who said it was the corpse of an ancient, indomitable dragon. Others said it was a pavilion in the sky, erected by Empyrean beings.
Oh, yeah?
So, he sees a strange light shining in the sky. The way it's written, I feel like this light is meant to be the key to the new world or something. What do you think that the light is? The remains of a dragon or a pavilion built by an Empyrean being? I like the dragon remains. I think it's cooler. The dragon remains sounds good, I think. But would have been an enormous dragon to be visible from the ground, right? I feel like any world with a dragon that big wouldn't last very long. It didn't satisfy Gallica, but I still feel considering the possibilities has improved my imagination. Bro, right. What do you mean there was a wrong answer? It's about imagination. I went with the cooler one. I know this new world is just fictional, but I'd want to visit it if it were a real place. There's still more left to be read in this book. I'll pick up from here next time.
Sheriff speaking.
Got something on the old girl's radar, so we'll be taking a short stop.
The city ruins come to view.
Oh.
This place once flourished through the excavation of magla crystals by migrant workers. The work was hard, but the miners were hardy and spirited, and the promise of riches lured many here. In its time, it may have rivaled Brylehaven. However, the promise of strong magla drew forth the humans. As tragedies climbed, it became a ghost town. Now only the threatening glimmer of the crystals remain. And with the promise of abandoned riches, followed the thieves. For some reason, though, they all seem to scurry home empty-handed, gripped by fear.
So that sounds like a dungeon. But that is a pretty view, wow.
This is...
Simply coming here is enough to win the soul. A chill settles in my very bones as I consider what could have occurred here. Something wrong, lad? Did the gauntlet runner get the best of your stomach again?
No.
No, sorry, I was just reminded of something unpleasant.
Well then.
Let's call it a day and head back. I know what destroyed this village. I have no doubt about it. This is the work of a human. Indeed, the scars left upon this place differ from the traces left behind by monster attacks or acts of war. Right. I don't know if the magla crystals are what attracted the humans here, or if the attack caused them, but my hometown will eventually... strong. I'll make no assumptions about what runs through your mind, but I would ask you to recall the time when we cut down the human at the castle and saved those lives within.
That's why.
Do not allow your thoughts to dwell on negativity. The day will come when both this place and your homeland will flourish once again.
Yeah.
I suppose you're right.
Now then.
Did we do it? We did it. Level 3 knowledge.
Wisdom.
'Tis one of the virtues a ruler must possess.
Why,
Yep. Cool.
Hey!
My stomach sends notice that our next meal is overdue. Why don't we head back? So I guess Nurus can read the room when he wants to, huh?
So,
Let's put this place behind us.
Here.
By the by, I made another drawing. This picture will bring viewers no joy, but is an important sight to document nonetheless. I'll take the drawing with me to ensure I never forget what happened here.
As the sun sinks below the horizon, the Gauntlet Runner arrives in a land dense with tree. The glow of the Gauntlet Runner pierces the dark, warmly enveloping them in its light.
Heads up on the ad break, guys. Sorry. I bet we'll be able to see the ocean soon. First for both of us. Alrighty, Heisman.
Ah, it's you.
I've got altogether too much time in my hands. What say we take a little rest and talk a moment? No trace of enemies around, but by my eyes, peaceful for now, which means we get to have a little break. By recalling the past and planning for the future with Heisman, maybe I can hone my imagination. Sure. I understand why imagination takes so much to level up now, because, like, every motherfucker wants to provoke your imagination.
Good grief.
Goodness, time to bid farewell to Martira, isn't it? I can't help but feel a connection to that place. The village from which I originally hail is not far from Martira. The air there agrees with my skin more than Grand